into this computer. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition, another installment, another episode. Yeah. Yes, sir, of the Black Men Win podcast. This is episode, oh my God, what episode is this? This is 17. We have 16 on the way coming in a minute. I think this is a number. Shit. I have a lot of podcasts, damn it. I have a lot of episodes. People be sitting here saying, you have to make sure you get your episodes right. I try. I have a lot going on, people. But I just want to say welcome again. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Men Win podcast. We are here. We are back. I'm super excited to have another guest on the show. First of all, before we even get into it, let me just say thank you for everybody that continues to listen, continue to subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. That may be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you listening to us from. Please subscribe. We appreciate you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, the THC Podcast Network. You can also cop some dope ass Black Men Win merch off our website as well. 50% off the whole store until February 1st, my birthday, because we have another birthday sale. You know what I'm saying? That's coming with that. So just look out, be on the lookout for that. And yeah, man, let's get into it. Listen, I have a dope brother on here right now for me personally. This is very, I'm very happy. I feel like each episode I get happier and happier because I don't know what it is when it comes to this podcast. But I just love hitting up people that I see doing their thing, working, grinding, doing what it is. And for me, people that I continuously look up to, continuously look at, right, far away or up close. And the brother that I have on today, I'm super excited to have on. So as you guys know how we do it here, first question off the docket is gas yourself, brother. Introduce yourself to the people at home. Don't be modest, because everybody come up on here and be modest. Oh man, I don't do much. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, a regular old time. I just do my thing. Go. I let you. I listen. Every episode, I let every interviewee get away with it, and then I have to come back and literally be extra about it because their accomplishments need that much extraness. They're so humble, really. Like all of my interviewees up until now, literally have been humble, very humble, and it speaks to their character. But gas yourself, go off, tell them who you are, brother. Stop playing with me.
What's up, man? You are hilarious.
Oh man.
Love it. I'm so glad you gave me the opportunity to step into your world.
And I appreciate it.
Awesome platform, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
We need more Black men having conversations that's not about sports or drugs or the streets or whatever.
Hey man, or disrespecting Black women, but we're not gonna go there today. That's for another podcast, for another episode.
Yeah, it's good to be in a positive space with another.
Hey man.
But nonetheless, I'm Eugene, head honcho of United Icons fashion brand,
yes, sir.
As well as the Iconic Styles wardrobe styling, image consulting brand. I do a plethora of things in the fashion space, from photography, model management, runway coaching, fashion show production, editorial photo shoot styling, day-to-day styling. I also have an ebook that is up on my Instagram. If you hit the link,
word. Turn up. Come on now.
But it's basically just, dressing for success, just some essentials that I feel like every person can rock with.
Absolutely.
Some information that gives you a breakdown of what you should have in your closet, essentially, at the end of the day.
Right.
It's a breakdown at the end for men as well as a breakdown for women. So plug in there. Don't minimize it like, oh, it's nothing. Like, no, just go
No.
break it down and you'll see that, at the end of the day, it's a lot of things that we don't necessarily have
Right.
or consider to be
Right.
just essentials for getting our day-to-day stuff done.
Right.
So other than that, man, I'm from Grand Rapids. I'm a father of two. Born in Flint, raised in Grand Rapids. Recently shifted to a whole nother diaspora of culture and people, and I'm just out here flapping around trying to get my video together and stuff like that, man. But it's been a
Sure.
good journey. This is definitely a new level, a new space, a new place, and all that other good stuff to go along with it, man. But I'm glad to have this opportunity to rap with you, my guy.
Man, I'm proud and I'm thankful that you are here. First of all, I'm like, what is all of this racket? But it is my phone. I'm so sorry. um, first of all, I'm grateful and honored to have you on the show. I've been following your journey for a minute now, since the Grand Rapids days. And you are very well known within the fashion industry. Um, I think people know you more than they probably want to let on. Um, and let's just be real. Let's just keep it a bean. Like when you enter into a space, and rest in peace to the magnificent Andrew Talley. Can we just give that real quick? Can we just give a he was a man that entered into a space where not a lot of us could enter into.
Mm-hmm.
And he left behind people like you guys
Mm-hmm.
who are breaking down these fashion barriers for us to have the same style, the same platform, the same finesse and everything that everybody else has, and do it better. Okay. Do a little bit better, right? But I'm proud because when I seen that you were a part of New York Fashion Week, not just once, just twice, right? Like this is multiple events happening. And I'm watching you and I'm like, wait a minute. Not this brother in this small town, because Grand Rapids is small. Do y'all hear me? Grand Rapids is this tiny. Okay. So I look at my black people and I'm like, what are we doing? And I looked at Eugene and I said, bro, he's in Grand Rapids, but like he's an enigma. It was like he's untouchable a little bit. Like you hear his name. He's in the fashion world. He has style for different people. He has been here. He's been there. He's been. I'm like, well, hell, who the hell is Eugene then? This enigma around Grand Rapids. Who is he? Finally met him, and I was like, wow. And the crazy part is, Eugene will sit here and tell you that he's not done. He's not even done yet.
No, man.
He's not even like fat. Again, this is why I love this platform, because it makes it puts fire under my ass. I imagine where you were at my age. You understand what I'm saying? Like the hunger, because I see you now, and it's like, yo, you're telling me, you're telling the people, you're telling the world, like, yo, I'm not. This is just it. This not even a fraction of what I can do. Watch me. And I've been doing it for so long, but still, watch me continue to break down these walls in an industry where literally we are looked at as either just models or just fly by the way designers, or we're just designing for our people, which is fine to me. But at the end of the day, you're a black man who continues to break down walls in the fashion industry, and we want to give you flowers, man.
I appreciate that,
man. Like you're dope, and for you to now move into the basically one of if not the fashion capital of the world in New York City, I think that puts another asterisk by your name and says, oh yeah, we watching him. We might not, they know you. Let's just say that they know you. They know you. They see United Icons. First of all, dope brand. Just seeing the jumpsuit, the bright silver. Woo! Let me tell you, the designs have been going crazy as of late, and I'm just like, all right, I gotta step my coins up because I'm gonna need some of this. I'm gonna need, and I have one of your sweaters in which.
Kudos to you for being the one of the very first customers of the new launch that we
Oh
did.
man, no problem, bro.
Runway, like I was nervous. I'm like, man, I can't sell this yet. Oh, come on, man. Like, nah, bro.
Bro, you were in the prime. Here's the thing: your whole fashion show, your whole line, which was, first of all, shout out to all the models that you had because they wore it flawlessly.
Actually,
And women, all like they took it. You gave them what to wear, and they took it up a notch as professional. See, that's the thing. I'm sorry. It gives me when I see good professionalism. Like those models hit. The heels look good, the toes look good, the nails look good, the face look good, the ponytails, the weave was. I was like, yo, he got him. And that's how you're supposed to come when you're coming from a different city or a different state into New York fashion. You have to come like nobody know you, even though people know you. You got to come like and you came like that. So I'm like, babe, yo, this is my guy in New York fashion. She was like, oh, I met him. I was like, wait, what? She was like, yes, I see him. I was like, and I got you a sweater. I was like, oh shit, you got this? Yo, it was like, yo, you got me a sweater, dog. Hey, I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm rocking this bitch. So we definitely going to get some more clothing from you because I feel like the texture of the clothing is not too crazy. The it's warm. It's the thing about a hoodie is I love a warm hoodie. Your hoodie makes me super hot. That I'm like, oh shit, I gotta take this shit off. Oh goddamn. Like, and I'm a sweater. Like, I can really get hot in the cold. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I like to have a lot of things on me or something that is not too. That I can have a one piece, like a hoodie on that's nice and cozy that'll make me hot. So when I go outside, I ain't got to be too cold. Yeah. Your hoodie does that. And for me, I was like, not only is it stylish, not only does it speak to his brand and who he is personally, it's just amazing to see how far you have come in just the year or two that I've been watching you. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see where you're going, bro. So congrats to you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. So second question on the docket, bro. We as Black men, it's 2022, right? We as Black men have a lot of things going on, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe in 2022, we are making, as a Black man community, we are making strides and steps, maybe very slowly, but, strides and steps to be a better community. And I feel as though in these 5, as I call them, the Ferris wheels of feelings or kind of the five seats of this Ferris wheel, the Black men Ferris wheel. I want to hear your thoughts in how we handle ourselves in these 5 areas: spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally. What would you say to that?
Ooh. How do we handle ourselves now?
Yeah, because we're coming into a time where I see attempts in us trying to reverse the physical and financial. We have to be providers. We have to worry about being providers, right? The one thing about a Black man is that we have to provide. Mm-hmm. No matter what it is, if it's for yourself, your family, providing. Mm-hmm. That takes a toll on the mental. And as Black men, we don't talk about that, nor do we discuss it, nor do we even have time to sit down and even think about what's going on. What's wrong with us? I use this example. I used this example on the last episode. One of my boys came up to me and we were walking, and he said, and I asked him, I just asked him, I just asked him, like, yo, are you good?
Mm-hmm.
And yo, he broke it. He spilled his guts to me.
Right.
Cause it was like that. I felt like if he didn't, he would have hit a breaking point and some shit would have happened. So I thank God that I was there just to ask him, oh, bro, are you good? Just a simple, are you good? We do this all the time. Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
He just spilled it. Because he doesn't have people to spill it to for real.
Right.
He spilled it. And so I wonder how do we handle those? Are we handling it better in your view? Are we not handling it better? And how can we handle it better if in your opinion?
Man, I think we do our best.
Yes.
A friend of mine told me one day, just do your best.
Right.
That's all you got.
Right.
All these other um I don't want to say unattainable, but unexhaustible, just never ending um, demands that you have in your life and in your days and
Right.
pressures of the world around you. We get so uh, caught up or inebriated in the what I gotta do type of thing.
Right.
When
Right.
they literally told me just do the best you can.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we miss that. We miss
Mm.
the simplicity in that,
Mm-hmm.
miss the importance in that, and we miss the weight of that because we try to excel and exceed and get to these heights when it's
Right.
like
Perfection.
that's not necessarily what you need to do, and then we beat ourselves down if we do make an error or we
Right.
do something and it don't work out or
Right.
it don't look like how we planned it or we put all this other demand and weight on our own selves,
Right.
also with whatever demands and weights we got around us, and we don't realize doing your best you can that's essential. That
Yeah.
gives you a different level of peace or a different level of calm or a different level of movement, than trying to
Exceed and wow. That's not
hustle
it.
your way through this stuff. And it's like, hey, if we didn't get it done,
That's
we did
okay.
the best we could,
Right.
right?
What
And I
would you
think that's what we got to do.
what would you tell somebody who would rebuttal you and say, well, I'm doing the best I can, but it ain't good enough?
Correct.
Because again, to your point, we want to exceed and excel and be better than what? The best, right? Um, so what does that look like for somebody who's saying to themselves on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm probably even if I'm giving 80 to 100%, I'm probably even beasting that, giving 100 to 120%.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not satisfied? What would you say to that?
The satisfaction in getting
Yes.
stuff done
Mm-hmm.
is kind of what's the word? A carnal thought process.
Break that down for me.
Um, I'm a man of faith.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
I believe that there is a higher calling for our lives. I believe that
Yes.
there's a higher dimension of what we subscribe to. And many times we feel like the task of getting things done is what gives us our success or our joy or our accomplishments. But if
Right.
we tap into that space of where we should actually be and bring ourselves back to that grounding space, then we realize that again, it's only so much we can do.
Right.
It's only so much we can magically create, to of
Right.
this type of feeling. But if you
Right.
understand that feeling of joy and success is internal and is eternal and it comes from a place greater than
That's
our
good.
human experience, then it don't matter.
Right.
It won't matter. You just have to realize again, you know, God, I'm doing what you asked me to do. I'm doing the best that I can. There are still some things that I don't feel accomplished in or accomplished about, or I still feel like I'm missing something. Literally, most of the time, if we actually just take a moment and break that down, nothing we do, nothing we get, no lady we can be with, no man we can be around, no amount of money, no car, no house will ever fulfill that.
That's
Ever. It
that's
will never be fulfilled. It's
yeah,
always going to be an open void for that yearning of something else greater than you.
right.
But you have to understand that there is something greater than you.
Mm.
And you have to be able to tap that to know that's actually what it is that's going to fulfill you always, ever, consistently.
Right.
You get fulfilled by that, all this stuff here on earth just becomes
Minimal.
play money.
Facts. Little minimal. I think as I'm continuing to go through my journey, I'm finding that. I found it very early. Like I know it wasn't, all of this, of creation of what I'm doing and everything like that. I think for me, I know that it's not just for me. I think for me, I've seen stepping into my space. I've seen what I would have called an oversaturation.
Mhm.
Now I just see it as like, okay, well, we have a lot of voices out here. Now some are going to get pulled and some are going to stay. But I think just doing your best is the simple. Like I don't think we hear that enough. Like
Right.
just do your best,
Mhm.
especially as adults. Like here, let's think about this. As adult, we hear like as kids and even as teenagers and even going into college, you can hear like, yo, do your best, put your best foot forward, and that's it. But it's then when you get into the adult world, it's like you don't hear do your best.
Mhm.
You hear like get that shit done.
Most of the time
Right.
we hear do
Right.
stuff.
There you go.
That ain't necessarily what's being said, but most of the times that's what we hear. That's
Right.
what we see. You
Right.
not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You failing,
Mm-hmm.
messing up the game, you
Mm-hmm.
everything negative. That's what we hear.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we hear, we internalize that and then we start speaking that
And then we
back. But in reality, that's not what you're doing. You know what I mean? And then we don't even hear it, but we hear
oh
it.
because I don't think people understood what he just said. Can you say that one more time?
A lot of times we hear it, but we don't hear it. So it's like you were told something over there and you keep repeating that when nobody is even saying it anymore. So you hear it still, but it's speaking out of you. And then from there you start to just think that's what everybody is saying.
Oh my God.
That's not the truth. So then when somebody do come to you and say, "Hey, bro, do your best, man." You know what I mean? You still gonna knock it out. You can't receive that because the only thing you
Wow.
hear is you jacking up, you messing up the game, you messing up the church's money, man. You
That's
jacking off,
you
you
better
this, you doing
pray.
that. And it don't matter how much somebody come to you and be like, bro, like you winning, you doing your best.
Exactly. Oh,
You just gotta
yo,
analyze that.
Eugene is dropping some gems, not just for the people, but for me too. Like, let me just say this too. Yo, he dropping bombs, but he's right. He's dead on the money. You understand what I'm saying? Personally went through a period like that where you hear it, but you not really hearing, or not even hearing, you're listening to
Mm-hmm.
your own self
Mm-hmm.
of negative thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
then spewing that shit back out. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, that's not, that's not black men win, right? Because for me, we have to speak affirmations. This is not just a podcast. I've always said this. This is not just a podcast. This is an affirmation. Okay. So for me, I had to figure that out. And let's just and for it, and Eugene would attest to this. It's not easy. This is not an easy process, right? We have to figure it out. That's where self-love and self-care and self-discipline, self-patience, self-anything, self-awareness comes in for you, not for the other person, or not for the other people, but for you. And once you gain that, nothing can really destroy you from what you got going on. People can say whatever they want to say, and people can talk. And even your own mind can talk to you and try to tap you out of, what you got going on. But no, you have to have that discipline. And as you said, as a man of faith, me too, you have to go to God or whoever your God is. Pray, talk, let it out, yell, scream, do whatever you need to do. Talk to your God how you need to.
Correct.
Me and God always don't have a, hey God, you know what I'm saying? I just, no. Sometimes I'm yelling at his crazy self. Sometimes it's a me and him conversation. I'm crying and like it be them days, but he warrants those. He wants those. He doesn't want you to just keep it. Listen, I'm preaching. Okay, let me get out of this real quick. I'm just saying,
hey, man.
Black men, tap into your spiritual. Tap into that. Because in tapping into your spiritual, I think that is a focus for real. It's tapping into your spiritual first that will allow you and help you to tap into every last single one of each of the seats that are on the Ferris wheel of Black men emotions.
Right.
When we tap into the spiritual, our mental gets better. I can attest to this. Your mental gets better. Your emotional gets better. Your physical gets better. Hell, your financial gets better.
Right.
I'm saying, and I'm not saying you got to be a Bible totem. Correct. But I'm saying you have to tap in and know that there's a higher power that's calling you, just like Eugene said, there's a higher power that's calling you for something. And you ain't got to know what it is, but you just have to know that it's something beyond you. And that's what it is. So going into our third question, generational patterns. We used to call them generational curses, but I don't think we want to call them that anymore because that curses is just such a negative term. Right. And so generational patterns as a Black male community, how can we as Black men sort of shift generational patterns into a positive instead of being instead of such negative lights? Because what the media and what even some Black people will tell you is that, we have a lot of generational curses and we have a lot of generational patterns that are very negative that will that has continued to lead us down paths that we've tried to curve off to the right, but always keep going left. How can we shift that? What are some that you see that are maybe kind of still around our community as Black men, and even if you want to answer as Black people, and then how can we kind of shift those generational patterns to be better?
I do like the terminology generational patterns. I understand the terminology of generational curses. But few and far in between do we hear anything about generational blessings.
Whoa, talk about it.
So if we look at the positive stuff, and that's what we subscribe to, that's what we focus on, and that's what we walk towards.
Right.
Handle some of these other things.
Yes.
As they come along. Because again, if my focus is driving forward to the positive, that's what I'm paying attention to. That's the stuff that needs to get highlighted. That's the stuff that needs to get promoted. That's the stuff that needs to get put in the forefront. That's the stuff we need to consistently put our attention and our focus in and on. All the other stuff, Not saying it's nonsense, not saying it don't exist, not turning a blind eye to it, but most of all of what you hear when it comes from that generational pattern statement, when it comes from generational curses statement, is negative.
Right.
So how do you offset anything negative?
Right.
You have to overwhelm it with positive.
Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar. Drop a bomb for that one.
You have to go exceedingly above and beyond whatever those negatives are. Because again,
Right.
go back to the statement we just said. Somebody saying something to you negative, you start to internalize that, and that's what you start to speak back out.
Exactly.
It never changes. It's the same thing. Whatever is going on in our communities, that's what gets talked about. That's what gets promoted. That's what gets put on TV. That's what you see on the news. That's what you hear on the radio. That's what you hear people talking about on the train and at the bus stop and all this other stereotypical nonsense and riffraff that goes on in the community. You don't ever hear, oh man, it was this. You hear it in small pieces.
Small increments. Absolutely.
In an overwhelming thing.
No. Because what we see is that the negative gets promoted a lot.
Correct. But in anything we know, even in sales, if you're doing sales, it takes like 8 to 12 or whatever the ratio is, yes, to overcome one no. It takes that many positive things to overwhelm one negative thing. One.
Crazy.
So just imagine how many negative things our community has.
So
how many positive things do you need to have overcome that?
Double.
If it takes for one negative, it's going to take 8 to 10 to 12 positives to offset that. Then we got hundreds of years worth of negative.
Yeah.
So you not going to overwhelm that in one day?
No, not at all.
You're not going to overwhelm that in one action. You're not going to overwhelm that in 1 year. You're not going to overwhelm that with one person.
Ooh, say that.
Start.
Yes.
And most of the time, that's what we do. We'll start and then just be like, oh, man, it ain't nothing. Like, no, keep talking about that.
Exactly. Because we're not seeing the, honestly, we're not seeing the benefit for, first of all, we're not seeing the benefit for us in the long run, individually, right? As an individual. I think that sometimes we don't see it. And I'm not talking about myself, but as a general public, we are not seeing it in, for us. What's the benefit for me? Because we're such a me society. What's the benefit for me? What do I gain? What compensation do I get? What comes out of it for me? Because I want to do this and da 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 da. And me. And as you said, it's going back to what we said earlier. It's not about you.
It's not only about you.
It's not only about you. And it's just not about your family. It is about everybody else who has come before and who will come after. And what I'm continuously learning, and I think what everybody who is on a similar path or journey that I'm on is continuously learning, is that it's not about us. Do we want what we want? Absolutely. Will we get what we want?
Right.
Absolutely. But at the same token, we also understand and grasp the fact, little by little, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, that it's not about us. It's not about us at the end of the day. This could have been a whole me type of show. The Black Men Win podcast could have been a whole me type of show. But since I've done Black Men Win interviews since doing the blogging days, I've always wanted to make sure that I'm showcasing Black men.
Right.
Because I know that it's not about me. Understand, and that's just growth through me being a podcaster and a producer and a network exec, if you want to call me now, having my own network and shit. Like, it's not about me.
Right.
I'm seeing multiple people who wouldn't even start a podcast
Mm-hmm.
now get into the space and be very successful. It's just like Eugene. Yo, it's black men out here that are looking at Eugene that probably won't even say it to his face, but are looking at Eugene and saying, bro, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for stepping into this space. Because they will come to you. Listen, I decree that there will be a time where young black people who are just like our ages and shit will come to us and say, yo, we looking at you and we want to work with you. We want to work for you because we bump with your brand. We bump with who you are and what your brand and what your company stand for.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand that, yo, all of this, what can we call it? Like trials and tribulations are literally building up our strength so we can help the next. If we're not already doing it now in the ways that we are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I received that, man. I thank you for that. It's definitely gets to a point where you can get so again consumed in doing
Right.
that you forget that it ain't just you. What are you
Absolutely.
doing? I think at the ultimate bottom line is we have to discover why any of this is important.
Mm.
Why is this podcast important? Why is this fashion brand important? Why
Yeah.
is creating space for other people to succeed important? Why is getting financially stable important? Why
Yeah.
is why is education important? What parts of education is important and why is that important? You
Right.
know, so it's a lot of why. If
Right.
you constantly asking why in an inquisitive thought process, not a I'm asking you like demeaning you
Right.
why
Right.
you
Right.
doing
Right.
that?
Right.
No, like I really want to understand why.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
once we even start to get to the negative stuff, it's like, why does this negative stuff exist?
Exactly. Why are we here? What does
Right.
it mean? Like, are we just making listen, it's been a lot of things that I've been questioning a lot now. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, good. I'm glad I got questions because they're valid.
Right.
They're valid about what's happening, with our community, how we're being portrayed in the media, and just me being in the space of media, particularly. I tell my people all the time, I'm like, I live in this space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the space that I'm in, but I'm in the space so I can sit here and try to make some type of change in any
Right.
way, shape, or form. Because I don't like how we're portrayed in the
No.
media. I don't like it. I never have liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was little, I never liked it. Watching cops, watching the news. It was every time you would see a black body, male or female,
Mm-hmm.
either getting arrested, something about something, drugs, this, and that. And I'm like, damn, can we put a good positive? Like I can say in my lifetime, since I've been in and out of school, Blackish, my lifetime, Blackish, maybe Family Matters were like the shows. Now, of course, I watched, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all of that shit. But like when I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
it was Family Matters. And then when we got to college, Blackish was like the only family that to me depicted a mixed black family with good moral values
Mm-hmm.
on television.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It wasn't like somebody had to dance and do all of this just to get some. No, real shit, talking about real shit. And we're having a family, all black, from the from the mama to the daddy to the grandparents, talking about this. And it made me feel so good inside. Right.
Right.
And I know there's shows that have been that have exceeded Blackish or even have had that black family. We know about that. But for me and mine, that was that. Blackish was that. And I love that. You understand what I'm saying? So to your point, it's just like when it comes to the generational patterns, again, are we looking at the generational blessings that are coming along, right? Because I think our ancestors will be like, yo, y'all keep talking about these generations. Can you talk about all the shit that we done blessed you with?
Right.
The food, the education. Like, let me tell you something. One of my interviewees said to me last episode, he was like, black men wasn't even supposed to win. First of all, we wasn't even supposed to be here. So winning is extra.
Right.
Winning is extra. We wasn't even supposed to be here.
Right.
Our ancestors are low-key rolling in their grave of how proud of us they are. Like, yeah, we do a lot of dumb shit. I get that. Mm-hmm. But our ancestors are low-key, high-key rolling over in their graves of how proud of us they are. Mm-hmm. Fashion designers, media personalities, doctors, lawyers, judges. Mm-hmm.
But that stuff don't get blew up.
Nothing. Exactly. To the level of a rapper, a singer,
right,
or maybe a drug dealer, even if you want to call them.
It's like if you think about what Fam said about how we weren't even supposed to win. Mm-hmm. We can go with that's true. Mm-hmm. And then we look at the things that we have now accomplished up to 2022 mm-hmm. from 1900s on up, right?
Ooh, yep.
We can go back even further, but just go from there on up. Like, yep. What are the things that we've
accomplished to
this society outside of slavery?
Right.
Not the quote unquote, but that's how people, say, oh slavery. No, like outside of slavery, what things have we been great at, successful at? You know what I mean? What are the positive things that we've given this country, given this society, given this community, given this world?
Ooh, talk about it.
Like, okay, we weren't supposed to win, but
yeah, we wasn't.
What does winning look? What is winning?
Exactly.
What does winning look like?
Right.
What does that feel like? What does that sound like? What does that smell like? Why is winning important? Why is that a thing? Who are we comparing winning to?
Right.
Who did we beat? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Good question.
Who? What? Where? When? Why? Like, a lot of times we put ourselves. I think a lot. Not. I think. I believe a lot of it comes from the comparison of A versus B. If you just realize you just A. Mm-hmm. You ain't gotta compare it to B. Who are you beating? How are you winning?
Right.
You gotta know, like, if you beating yourself, the yesterday version of yourself, then good.
Right. And that's what you should be doing.
Person, then there's no need.
Exactly. And that was his point. Like, you should definitely be beating yourself every day. Every day. You should be elevating and even if it's 1%, mm-hmm. you did something. To your point earlier, you're doing your best.
Right.
Like, you're doing your best. Yeah. And again, as adults, we don't hear that enough. Or mm-hmm. I think for me, growing up, I didn't hear adults say that a lot to each other. Like, oh, you're doing your best. I cannot recollect the last time I've heard adults talk to each other and say, you are doing your best. It hasn't been until literally my generation where we talk to each other and we say, bro, you got this. Keep going. You doing what you doing. Mm-hmm. What? When you hear that and you in a space where you're just like, nah, I gotta go harder. I gotta go crazy. I gotta go,
Right.
You don't receive that because we've never really heard that in the space of adulthood. But now again, we have a shift where people are saying this. People are really meaning this as adults. Because what we don't understand is that adulthood is hard as fuck. Adulthood is hard as fuck. It is. Like I've seen my uncles, I've seen my mom, I've seen my grandma, I've seen my aunties, I've seen how much they have struggled, and I've seen how much they have won. Okay. Adulthood ain't no bitch. It is a motherfucker.
Right. And we was fighting to get here.
Man, that's a win. That's a win in itself. So it's like if you are beating yourself and doing the best you can every single day, you're winning. Period. Oh my God. You goes into my fourth question. How can we as Black men, individually and collectively, how can we get back and do better? How can we be better for the next generation? How can we do it individually and collectively for the next generation? I think we've answered that a lot through this conversation, but it just in a nutshell, what do you think are some things that we can do to better our young Black men that are coming up and looking at us now? Because we're the ones that, like I said last episode, we're the ones that are the teachers. We're the educators now. We're the uncles, you know what I'm saying? We're the aunties, we're the grandmas, we're the grandpas, we're now becoming those old heads. You understand what I'm saying? We are. And now, you know, to your two beautiful children, like how are you, right? Individually doing it for you. So what would you say to that?
I think a lot of it starts itself. Like if we realize that it's a level of our responsibility, just to take care of us, this edifice,
right?
Can do, go more, once you understand that. And when you in a good space and you in a good mental space and you in a good health space and you in a good financial space, you can take care of more, do more, you give back more. Like Jay-Z said, how can I help the poor if I'm one of them?
Facts.
It's like, I can't stay in those places.
Right.
There's no way I can give from those places.
Right.
So as we grow and as we get up further in the ladder of greatness, we have to realize that it's a duty to expand so we can have more to give back.
Right.
So we can have more greatness to sow into our people. But even if we're not even measuring it in like financials, stuff like that. Nah, you ain't got to be a millionaire. You can be 9 to 5 type of guy and still give back to your household, give back to your family, your wife, your kids, your community, the neighborhood school, your churches, the businesses in your area.
Right.
You just have to be intentional about it. So a lot of the things that we miss in part is, one, we don't be intentional, and two, we don't like to listen. So when it comes time to receive information, we so slacked and we so slow on it that it's just like, oh man, oh no, we not. And it's like, nah, if you listen to what people say, you can give a better response.
Absolutely.
Even in the fashion space, many people just talk. They just talk just to hear themselves talk. And it's just like if you just stop for a second and breathe, and you ain't gotta do all that talking, because I heard what you said 8 sentences ago.
Absolutely.
I got a question just for clarification, but I can't.
Right.
Because you keep
rambling.
Hold on, Mace.
Oh man. I hear we do, and that's facts. We do have to listen more. I believe that is very factual.
So even as a father, like you have to try to listen to your kids.
And that's big.
There isn't a handbook on parenting.
Absolutely.
Nobody knows how to do it.
Absolutely.
Every kid is different. Every family is different.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can have 2 kids with the same people, 3, 4 kids with the same people. Every one of the children is different. So what you give to one might have worked
Hey,
for
can't work with the other one. Right.
absolutely destroying the next one.
Right.
And
Facts.
as a community, we don't get that. And it just be
Mm-hmm.
like, we think, oh, we just going, I said, shut up and go sit down. All of them gonna shut up and go sit down. No.
Ah.
One, but it's gonna be one that's gonna be like,
Right.
I ain't finna go sit down, man. Who she in here yelling at? Who he in here think he is talking to? Like,
And then there's a whole thing. Oh man. Oh
right?
man.
That's that child. They got a little.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ain't gonna say bad. It's not bad. They got a little courageousness to them. They
They
got a
got a
little.
little you in them. If you're the parent doing
Facts.
that, they got a little you in them. You got
Facts.
to understand. And I had to let my mama know this too. I was like, Ma, I have you in me.
Right.
Okay? Like, and me and my mama got to a point where, during the time where I was really growing up and shit after, getting my bachelor's and shit, my moved back in with my mom's. And I remember we would go at each other. I mean, we going. And I'll be like, I would go to my grandma and be like, what's wrong with your daughter? Like, I'm getting sick of that. Like, what is up with her? And my grandma would have to tell us, like, yo, y'all the same person.
Right.
Like, she would have to tell her, like, that is your child. The way you act, he acts the same way. And I had to say, whoa. And it was things like I had to say, like, okay, I admire this about my mom. But then there was things I had to be like, okay, I got to pull back because I see how, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I was like, you're right. It was some areas where I like, some areas where you dislike because you don't want to be that. You understand what I'm saying? And it was like, again, me and my mom were butt heads just a little bit, but it got to a point where we understood, like, okay, you are my child. And you act just like me. You got a high head just like me. You got a mouth just like me. I get it. You understand what I'm saying? You hot tempered just like me, but you're not disrespectful. And I understand that. And my mom would sometimes take my hot temperedness, or not even hot tempered, but just my rebuttal to what she's saying as disrespect. We know how Black parents are. If you disagree with anything, right? Old school Black parents, if you disagree, it ain't no disagreement.
Right.
Okay? I said what I said. Don't you? That's it. That's it. Right? And so it got to a point where my mom had to be like, okay, wait. And I'm her only. Right. So think about, I had to really dig into my mom's cranium. You understand what I'm saying? Like, first of all, give your parents grace, period. Right.
Because if you realize they did the best they could.
Yeah, going back to what you said. They did their best. Give your parents grace, first off.
Handbook, man.
Give your family grace. Whoever raised you, give them grace.
Right.
Before you even go into, and I didn't even go into it like this, but before you even go into, because this is the typical, oh my God, they ain't doing enough for me. Stop and give them grace. Okay? Because it was a lot of things that I said, okay, my mom was not married. She wasn't with my dad, while she was raised, when she raised me, but understanding my situations and understanding her situations and understanding my dad's situations, it was like, okay, I understand. I got it. I understood what it was, what happened, why we moved, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. I understand why you did what you did and raised me how you raised me. And I appreciate it because as I'm growing up and as I'm growing up in this crazy ass world, I'm seeing a lot of the lessons and blessings that my mom has taught me and given to me that I can use out here that a lot of people don't have. One of those is common sense. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. Right. So it's like my mom was never my best friend. My mom was never my friend. She was my mother. And I respected that. Now we're call each other, what up? You know what I'm saying? We cool now. It's like we best buds. We friends. We best friends at this point. But that's still my mother. I'm always hold respect.
Right.
Right. But you give your parents grace.
Yeah.
You give them grace. You give your grandparents grace. You give your parents grace. Hell, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. And I'm talking to you too. You just give yourself, because again, it ain't no, there's no book to parenting, as you said. And I don't have any kids. So I can only imagine when I do become a father, it's going to be rewarding, but I also know it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think having kids now, and this wasn't even the topic we was on, but having kids as you get older becomes a little bit more, I'm not going to say easier, but your disposition in a lot of things have shifted. So,
Right.
like if your parents had you when they were young or whatever the case may be versus somebody who had older parents,
Right.
they were 40 when they had kids or something like
Right.
that.
Right.
As you know, you ain't got the same cares or the same energy or the same
Facts.
you had when you was 18. Now
Yep.
that you know, older, and it's like, just imagine if you just had a kid when you was 40. All of the knowledge and information that you got now, you didn't have a kid at 40. You would have been a different parent if you had a kid at 20. You know what I mean? So it's like
21 almost happened. I'll tell y'all that.
right. So it's like, all right, I didn't get at 21. I ain't got nothing going on in my life. This the only thing that's something. And it's like,
right.
man, and a lot of times that's how we end up doing it, because we grow with our kids.
Right. And then they grow right beside. Yep.
We don't know the answer. They looking at us for the answer. We looking for the answer. Shoot, I don't know. We gonna figure it out though.
Right. And you can't tell your child right then and there, I don't know. You just gotta tell it in your head, like, I don't know. We about to figure this shit out. And that's what it is. It's figuring it out. Don't beat yourself up.
Figuring it out.
Right.
Because you still might not figure it out.
And that's okay.
Right. But your commitment is to put in effort to figure it out.
Exactly. And that's what that is. You just have to do the best that you can. Going back to what he said earlier, man, that's it. That's really it. So going to our last question, what does Black men win mean to you? When you hear the phrase, when you hear that saying, that affirmation, what does it mean to you?
Man, it just means that I'm out here smashing the game in my respect.
Yes, sir.
I'm out here killing it, that I'm out here moving and shaking and opening up space and doing things that, my past would not have reflected as what I should be doing.
Yes,
where
sir.
I come from should not have been reflective of where I'm going.
Yes, sir.
The things that I've had to endure and go through that probably would have killed me, should have killed me. I've overcome those challenges. I'm still climbing the ladder. I'm still walking up the hill. I'm still pushing forward. God still got a plan for my life. He still got air in my lungs. He still got energy in my bones. He still got purpose in my being here on earth. Anytime that I come into a place, I just cultivate new energy. I cultivate new respect. I cultivate love. I come in with love. I am love.
Yes, sir.
I produce love. Everything about me is great. Excellence exudes from me. That's what winning is to me.
Right.
Everybody might not see it the same way.
I feel you.
None of that had to do with a car, a lady, a
nothing. Nothing material. And again, that is the whole thing with Black men. When is not only just showcasing these dope ass Black men that I know and maybe even don't. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But it's showcasing them, showcasing their talents, really getting into some deep questions. Okay. And really just giving some dope answers, some very intelligent answers, and understanding that at the end of the day, Black men do win, because and I definitely see it sometimes on our Black men's faces. We don't champion. First of all, as Black men, we don't champion ourselves enough, self-love enough. Mm-hmm. And then when we do champion others, it's, man, I want to be like you, bro. I want to be like you, bro. No, bro. I get it. I love that. That's our Black men. Like, you doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I would love for us to come to a point where we say, bro, I love what you're doing. Keep doing your thing. You understand what I'm saying? Let's collaborate sometime and actually do it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's actually get into a space, you know what I'm saying, where we can actually communicate, be a collaborative or a collective or something like that. Like, I love championing our people. Okay. And then love championing our Black men. Because I don't care if you flipping burgers, cutting hair. If you happy where you at, and if you doing it to the exponential potential that you're winning.
Right.
That's my thing. You're winning.
And it's always a little funny thing. It happened earlier today, but when I see people jogging, but specifically what we would call the heavier set demographic,
Yes.
when I actually see them jogging, I be wanting to blow my horn. I be wanting to yell out the window. I be wanting to hit the air horn. I be wanting to throw confetti. I be wanting to do anything
Yes.
I could think of that's going to give them some level of encouragement to keep going. Because
Right.
I know I don't know personally, but I could just fathom all of the layers and levels of stuff you had to overcome.
Yes, sir.
To go outside publicly running on the streets.
Like, and that's publicly.
Major.
Yes.
That's big. So to me, that's how I see stuff. I be wanting to give them money. Like, do you want some water? Like, what do you need to keep going?
What you need, exactly.
And the same way, like you asked, that's how we need to see each other.
Yes.
I see you outside, wherever, that's how I need to receive you.
Right.
And that's how you should be thinking that that's what you're gonna receive. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Like, absolutely.
I'm gonna give that, and that's what's gonna be coming back to me. Like, every time I see a Black man, we in here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We the unit. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you from. I don't care what block you claim. I don't care what set you from, what neighborhood. My dog, I see you. I'm cheering you on. I'm championing you from afar. I got my megaphone out. I'm screaming.
You feel me? Yep.
Throwing confetti at you, rice like we at the wedding. Whatever I can.
Yep.
To help you understand that you have support.
Yes. That's
whether you know me or not, it don't matter. Whether you know what I mean, because like you said, it's limited things that we experience or hear or receive that is that level of positioning. It's always a negative. It's always some downing. We always gotta walk around with our head down and you know, and
we give each other that nice little nod. What up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like,
roughest, toughest, sluggish.
You know, it's just like, bro, let your shoulders down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Relax. Like,
and part of it is a side we got to put on, because the stereotype is Black men have to be this.
We have to,
we gotta come at everything like this raging lion and this roaring animal and this crazy pit bull mentality. And a lot of times you can't even get past that to be like, bro, I'm tired.
And thank you.
I'm tired.
Thank you.
I just want to.
I'm just tired, bro.
Tired.
Any Black man that asks me like, what's going on? I'm gonna tell you. You feel me? Like, oh God, I'm gonna tell you like what's going on.
Don't ask me if you ain't.
Right. Don't ask if you ain't ready for a true answer, because again, to your point, when we ask that question, I don't think people are ready for truthful answers. And I think some people be blown back by like, damn, I ain't need all that. But why you ask? You asking just to ask? Oh, I was just asking just to ask. What? No.
Ask me a different question then.
Right. Don't ask me just to ask. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Like, we have to be that sensitive to, and that goes into the emotional, what we're talking about. That we have to be more sensitive to not only other Black men's emotions, but our own in ourselves. You feel me? In order to say, hey, yo, I'm tired, bro. And in order for not us to snap and go off and try to sit here and yell at everybody or sit here and fight everybody or put a gun to somebody just because we have some type of frustration that we have not literally let out externally. And that's it, man. And
Take
that's
a
it.
step of vulnerability in order to get to that space. And as our society tries to force us to this corner or this pot or this block where being vulnerable and being a man, period, but just being a
Yes.
black man and being vulnerable is distasteful.
Yes.
It's this, you're a pansy, you're this what's the word, people, you're a beta, you know what I mean? Whatever negative type of thing, because if you're not an alpha male, if
Oh Lord.
you ain't the big dog in the room, then you know what I mean, you wasteful. Like,
No.
no, bro.
Like
Like,
no.
I ain't saying just sit around and just be in the corner crying for
No.
the next 9 months. You know what I mean? But
No, not at all. Because all the black men that I know and that I look up to and have mentored me are workers. AF. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody works, grinds, has their own shit on the side too that they doing. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, you have the ability to cry. You have the ability to be emotional. You have the ability to pray. But that does not warrant you the ability to just sit and do nothing and cry in the corner and do anything because that's not going to help.
No, that don't make you feminine or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
You in touch with your emotions. Like,
no,
we're human.
Exactly.
Every human has emotions, my boy.
Exactly.
If you are able to investigate those early, and if you are able to look into those frequently, you will understand that those are the things that give you strength.
Yes. Facts.
And you can continue forward to build, you can continue forward to conquer, you can remain victorious, you can do all that because you ain't strapped down with all this baggage of unnecessary stuff. Like, let that go. Free yourself. Get that stuff off your back. Have somebody help you get this stuff off your back. As a community, that's what we need to do. Help each other get this stuff off our back. You know what I mean? Because it's a phrase I use for a lot of stuff, but it's like, as I'm free, I'm freeing somebody else.
Right.
Because if I'm locked up, they locked up.
Absolutely.
Once I can free myself or loosen myself or get this weight off myself, it's actually freeing somebody else.
Right.
So even me doing this fashion stuff, I still feel a lot of the stuff we just talked about. Honest. And it's like, dang, I ain't really doing much. These other things, $1 million brands and blah blah blah. And
right.
all over the place, and people spending $8,000-$7,000 on this and all this other stuff, and then it just be like it's all good.
And that's it.
I ain't gonna compare myself to that because I'm not them and they not me. You know what I mean? I didn't come to do the things that they doing. They didn't come to do the things that I'm doing. I'm gonna do the stuff that I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do it to its greatest ability. I'm gonna free myself, and people are going to be free to be themselves, all in the same process. Because even me doing this gives other people energy and aspiration and hope and, you know what I mean, drive to do more than what they were doing yesterday.
Amen. And that's it. Yo, Eugene just broke it down. Can we just give him a hand clap?
Right.
You know, we just had to give you a hand clap real quick. Where can people find you on the social medias if you want them to find you? You know what I'm saying? Where can people find you?
Slide to Instagram, hit the brand page, United Icons. It's Facebook and Instagram, or Iconic Gemini on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I mean, I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it. I'm on Snapchat, but I just be creeping on Snapchat. I don't post nothing.
Gotcha.
All the stuff, man. You can email me. You can go to the website www. United Icons Atelier.com. That's Atelier for my people who be like, what's Atelier? I don't know how to
Got you.
spell that. Like, it's all good. I'm gonna help you. Like,
Yes,
it's fine.
sir. Are you question? Are you winter New York is winter fashion week coming? When
It's it's coming. I'm here.
are you going? Oh, okay. All
So
right.
what was gonna happen was I could have showed in New York
Mm-hmm.
for New York. Then I also had an opportunity to show in Cleveland for
Word.
All-Star Weekend.
Whoa.
So those two were the two pots that I was just like, man, that'd be super dope. But then I transitioned, relocated, and that kind of
Well, I'm going to just throw in the air here that you get both of those, even
right.
in the transition. So we're gonna throw that on up to God real quick. You feel me? And
Right.
let those come on rain back down so we can.
But the flip side is,
Yes.
I'm here assisting with another fashion brand.
Hey.
They are they're a pretty major brand, upscale brand, Studio 189, and they are doing a showcase.
Yes.
And I'm talking about like top scale
Yeah.
stuff. So they'll be doing a showcase for New York, and then I also still get to go to Cleveland because I got some work to do there
Come on now.
for All-Star Weekend. So I should be in Cleveland for a week, handling business there. So I mean, it's still moving. It's still new. It's
It's still,
still
but you're
like I
doing
don't know.
it.
Like
You're
people
doing your
talk to me,
best.
I'll be like, I don't know how I got here. Like I
Bro,
don't know, y'all.
I tell people the same thing. How you move out to New York,
I
bro?
don't
What you
know, man.
do? I don't know. My best friend took a chance on me. Shout out to Amber. My best friend took a chance on me and literally was like, I'm gonna move you out here. And then we here.
Right,
Now we here.
right.
And I don't know.
Sometimes you gotta do something that's just gonna scare the bejesus out of you.
And I mean, not only just you, but your entire like the people that fuck with you, you gotta scare all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cause I scared everybody. Like shit didn't like for me, and we'll get out of here in a minute. Shit didn't pan out for me. Like I was supposed to go to Colorado, as I think I've said this story millions of times. I was supposed to go to Colorado. That didn't pan out. A week
Mm-hmm.
before I was supposed to go, that guy flaked on me. And when I mean flaked, it was a big flake because I literally was looking at jobs over there, apartments over there. Yeah, I mean, trying to get shit over, and he flaked on me the week before. So I'm looking like, oh fuck. That was on
Mm-hmm.
a Tuesday. I let my best friend know on a Wednesday because she lived in New York at the time, and she
Mm-hmm.
was living in Brooklyn. And she was like, "All right, I got you." It wasn't even like my best friend. I love her so much. She doesn't really. She's one of the few people that gives me like, if I'm down, she'll be like, "What's the solution?" So what's the solution? What can we do? And she and I was like, well, I'm trying to figure. She's like, look, I'm in Chicago. I'm about to fly to Grand Rapids on Friday, and we'll drive to New York on Friday. And literally
Yeah.
came Friday morning, got here Friday morning at 4, drove to my house by 6. We was out and got here by 6 p.m. And the rest is history. So literally, when you say like you don't know, because I can attest to that, you don't know, but you have to just scare yourself into the change, into the person that you want to become. Literally, you have to go for it. So I thank you for coming on the show, my guy. Thank you for giving us this wisdom. You feel me?
Absolutely, man.
Drop a bomb for this man. Listen, I appreciate everybody for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Again, that is YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to us. You can tap into us. Again, cop some merch, 50% off. THC Media promo code. We'll have everything in the description box, his information and ours. So we'll have everything in the description. Again, Eugene, thank you for coming through. And this has been another one. And we are out. Peace, love, and hair grease, y'all. Love. And we are out.